ladies and gentlemen, apparently we've finally got hold of some final specs. You can put that in massive quotation brackets. Obviously they've not been confirmed yet for the Wii U. I'm not going to be going in any particular order, but I guess the first thing we should start off with is the CPU. Apparently it's going to be using 3 enhanced Broadway cores. The GPU is a GPU 7, which is an ATI Radeon based GPU, which supports Shader Model 4, DirectX 10.1, No 11, and OpenGL 3.3 of equivalent functionality. We have memory, we have 1 GB that applications can use, and storage, which actually kind of makes sense, we've known about this one for a while, is internal 8 GB with support for SD cards similar to the Wii, but obviously going to be a bit different, with cards up to 32 gigs of RAM, and finally external USB connected hard drives. We've also got networking of 802.11, Wi-Fi, and video outputs of up to 1080p, all the way down to, of course, 480i, and the video cables supported are going to be actually quite numerous. They're going to be compatible cables include HDMI, Wii D terminal, Wii component video, Wii RGB, Wii S video, Stereo AV, and finally Wii AV. As well as all of that, you've also got 4 USB 2 ports, no USB 3. I don't particularly think there's anything massively exciting or anything massively surprising about that list, to be honest with you. It's not too bad. I was kind of surprised about the lack of the X11. However, to be honest, it's still quite a massive bump from previous generation of hardware. Obviously, I'm not referring to the Wii, which was basically paper and string towards the end. I'm, of course, referring to the Xbox 360 and PS3. It's still going to be quite a bump from that. DirectX 11, of course, does support some nice functionality that DX10 doesn't, but we'll see just how developers feel about that. Obviously, most games still, even on the PC, are DX10, shall I say, not 11. And indeed, some people are still making DX9 games, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. One could argue, however, it is consoles that are holding that back. 1 gig of RAM, assuming that's true, once again, these specifications have not been confirmed. 1 gig is basically twice that of what the Xbox 360 has, which obviously has 512. I'm pretty sure you guys know about this by now, but I'll go through it anyway, just for the one of two of you who have not. PS3 and 360 run a little bit differently. Basically, the PS3 runs with 256 megabytes of main system memory with another 256 dedicated for RAM. The 360 runs, however, with 512 megabytes with a small frame buffer. I believe it's 8 megabytes for the video. However, the rest of the RAM, the 512 shall I say, can be split however the developers decide it to be. Quite a few people, the developers I mean, do say that the 360 is a little bit easier to program for, mostly because of this, and also they say that it's a bit more difficult to get hold of, or shall I say utilise, the full functionality of the PS3's CPU, and the GPU as well is apparently slightly weaker, or at least a little bit more difficult to program for. Obviously, that doesn't mean that games look bad or anything on the PS3. To be honest, you know, whichever one of them, it's kind of interchangeable. Most people do say, however, that the 360's display on certain games does look a little bit more vibrant. I personally haven't done enough research into this to know 100%, so please feel free to correct me or provide links below. That would be great. Anyway, so the Wii U doubles this. It's not quite as much as I'd like to have seen, and as far as I'm reading right now, there doesn't seem to be a amount of RAM specified for the GPU, so whether that 1 gig is going to be unified like the 360, or whether that's just going to be 1 gig for the system RAM and say another 256 or 512, what have you, for the graphics card, it's still unknown. Once again, these have not been final specifications for the Wii U confirmed by Nintendo. To also be fair to Nintendo, one of the things that has been a running theme with them is they tend to under-evaluate their own hardware. The GameCube was a great example of this. Its performance was actually slightly better than what Nintendo said it would be. I'm not saying, you know, it was going to be able to, I don't know, say run Crysis or anything silly, but they have always been very conservative with their specifications, which is quite nice because most hardware vendors, of course, do the opposite, and they will basically tell you that their toaster will be able to run pretty much anything in the world, and, you know, it'll be a supercomputer. So just thought I'd just put this video out there just so give you guys the latest bit of news. This is of course current, he says, as he can't actually remember the date, which is not exactly the best thing in the world. The 12th of September 2012, so obviously in a couple of days time, weeks time, we'll probably have learned a lot more, so I'll put out another video by then, and I'll probably do a lot more speculation based upon it, if we can get some confirmed specifications from Nintendo. I don't think that's going to happen tomorrow or anything, but we can always hope. Anyway, so if you guys want to leave some speculation below, that would be great. Personally, it's kind of what I expected if these specifications are true. And once again, this is a lot of assumptions because we've not got an actual performance graph of how much instructions per second they're able to do. You know, the actual power level, if you will, of the hardware in comparison to other things. So, assuming, however, that we can roughly gauge this to be accurate, it's pretty much what most people figured it would be. It's going to be significantly more powerful than, say, the PS3 and 360 in terms of raw power, and particularly the RAM. However, it probably will be left in the dust by the Xbox 720 and the PS4, which have quite a lot of rumours going about them at the moment. A couple of them are actually saying that they're going to be using the AMD line of processors. However, whether that's going to be true or not, and just how much calculations per second those CPUs are going to be putting out, and indeed, if they are going to be using AMD, it's almost certain, of course, they're going to also be tying that up with a Radeon graphics card. It's going to be quite interesting to see how they actually do in terms of raw performance also. Of course, there's nothing set in stone at the moment. We don't have anything as gospel. So it could be the Xbox 720 and PS4 are not going to be as impressive as what we would like. And by we, of course, we mean gamers as general. It doesn't matter whether you're a Nintendo Xbox fan or a PS3 fan. We just want to see the best hardware we can so we can, play the latest games, obviously. Anyway, this has been a bit of a rant and a ramble, so if you guys want to leave your thoughts below, feel free and give some links. Obviously, things will change over the next couple of weeks, so definitely keep checking back with Gaming Tech, and I will do my best to inform you guys as and when. So anyway, take care of yourselves, and bye for now.